What is the best way you've seen a guy hit on a girl? I don't know if this is the best way per se, but I definitely had something random and very cool happen to me at a bar. Simply put, I was standing next to this really cute girl. I don't know if he saw her checking me out or something, but this guy comes up to us, makes eye contact with her, points at me and goes, "Man, that's a really cool blazer, don't ya think?" She gives me a once-over and agrees. He gets his drink from the bar and leaves without saying another word. Instant attraction. Dancing and hooking up happen. Thank you, random awesome wingman, wherever you are. I never got the chance to say that. This made me happy. Sometimes you come across a random dude who just really helps you out. Awesome. Some buddies and I were at a bar just hanging out after work. There was a really pretty girl sitting at the bar with this guy next to her who was talking her ear off. I don't remember much about him, but he was wearing a baseball cap backwards. So one of us, we'll call him John, had just had a kind of depressing breakup and wanted to approach this girl, so we all get to talking about the best strategy. Someone, we'll call him Mark, suggests John slip her a note. What should it say? John asks. Someone, we'll call him Joe, says, "This guy looks like a douche." I might be one too, but you'll never know unless you call me. Phone number. We all laugh, and John gets a napkin and starts writing. His handwriting looks like a little kid's, so we agree that the person with the best handwriting should write the note. I take the napkin and write it out, but John starts getting cold feet. He doesn't want to sit around awkwardly waiting to see if she calls or even reads the note. So we agree we'll all head for the door and he'll hang back a little and pass her the note before joining us on the walk to the subway. So we execute the plan. It goes perfectly. We see her check the note while backwards baseball cap is still chattering away, and she laughs and slips it in her pocket without saying a thing to the guy. She calls John before we're a block away. They date for a few weeks. Turns out she'd recently had a rough breakup, too, and it ends when they both kind of start feeling like it's getting too serious too soon, but I think they're still friends. I was at a upscale bar for happy hour with an old friend catching up. It is a piano bar, and everyone drinks martinis, not real martinis but apple and chocolate bullshit, and wine trying way too hard to be sophisticated. The piano is sitting empty before the hired player gets to work. This average-looking guy wanders up to the vacant piano and starts singing and playing some Norah Jones-esque song, and he is amazing. Seriously good. He sees some woman singing along and he calls her up for a duet. She reluctantly agrees. He continues playing and she is totally into it. Some Jedi mind control shit is happening. Song ends, he gets a standing ovation, and walks off with the woman on his arm. They spent the next 2 hours at the corner of the bar drinking and talking and laughing and eventually left together. He was an average 6 at best, but she was a borderline 9. Under any other circumstances he would have likely struck out, but he nailed it. I don't know if it counts, but here's one. I went to college thousands of miles from home. First day in the dorm, I spent looking at the wall feeling sorry for myself. Second day, I went to a mall on the bus, but I hate malls, so I ended up in an arcade playing Skibble. Yes, I'm that old. For those that don't know, it's a game where you win tickets, which you can then trade in for useless crap. The crap I got was a stuffed sheep, about the size of a small loaf of bread. I then go home and cry myself to sleep out of loneliness. Next day, I wake up, classes still hadn't started, and decide to meet people. On a whim, I take the stuffed sheep and tie a string to it. I went down to the common area, and sat down near a wall, and then threw the sheep out so it was just around the corner. First girl walks up and looks at the sheep and looks at me. I pull the string. She gets a funny look on her face and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm fishing for friends." She just laughed and walked off. Second girl who comes by picks up the sheep and I pulled it out of her hands. She laughs and asks what I'm doing. I say I'm fishing for friends. She says, "You should just try talking to them." I said, "What do you think we're doing?" We went to lunch, dated for a while. It was awesome. Funniest thing though, I married the first girl. TLDR, all you need is an excuse to start talking. Edit. Okay, so marrying the first girl is a story, novel, epic, in itself, but alas, it has nothing to do with a sheep on a string. True, that is the way we met, but we re-met as it were. Sorry if it looked like a great cliffhanger. I just look back with amusement thinking she was the first person I met when I left home, like a Hymen plot. In other words, it ain't that I'm not delivering, it's that the pizza wasn't ordered. For what it's worth, the whole sheep on a string thing was a conversation starter for a long time. Most of the people I became friends with would tell that story or ask me about it. I did it on a whim, but I think it was just the right amount of crazy, you know, cute but not creepy. If I tried to tell all the stories that came about indirectly related to that damn sheep, you'd pretty much have to live 3 years of my life. Sorry. But thanks for the love, and the gold stranger, winky face. One of my close friends and I were playing pool in our dorm commons when this knockout brunette sat down with a few of her friends. Me and my friend both noticed she was glancing at him, but we continued to play pool. A half hour or so goes by and I asked him what he was doing the following day at 6. When I finished class, he turns and smiles at her before telling me whatever she is doing at 6. Her jaw dropped and she started giggling. They dated for nearly a year after that. It was the smoothest thing I have ever seen to date. Please tell me right after he said that he cracked a shot on the pool table and sunk all the remaining balls while making steady eye contact with her. He definitely lost that game by about 8 balls, but he's never been much of a pool player. I'm pretty sure he could have hit her with a ball and it still wouldn't have changed a thing. Met a gorgeous girl early at the beginning of a night party. A few minutes before midnight, I saw her again, and she gave me a frustrated frown. Is something wrong? I asked. Last New Year's I didn't have anyone to kiss at midnight, and I was really hoping this year would be different. Guess not. I had been drinking, but not so much as to miss an opening like that. Took her in my arms and kissed her up to and through the countdown. At the time it all seemed very spontaneous, but later I learned she had been practicing that line for over an hour. Anyway, this August will be our 20th anniversary. For a few years in my mid-20s I was the wing chick for my male friends. I would swoop in to help them out when they were striking out on their own. As a female picking up another female for a male friend, my most successful pickup line started with, "OMG, I absolutely love your," insert whatever they have on that stands out, i.e., shoes, necklace, bracelet, etc. I would chat them up for about 5 minutes and give the signal, a scratch behind the ear or thumb in pocket. Male friend would swoop in. I introduce them and tell a story about how this friend is so awesome. Then excuse myself to the bathroom and go home. Usually would wake up to a thank you text. Edit, thank you to the Redditors who gave me gold. I greatly appreciate it. Also, for those who are asking, I have been cancer-free for a few years now. I am amazed and cannot believe the amount of feedback I have received for this comment. All of you are awesome. Thanks again. Thank you text was not enough. My friends and I also had a wing woman, but we covered all of her drinks, bought her food, and provided a DD when she needed one. She was golden. Edit, good God, DD is designated driver. I did drink freely when I was winging. I didn't really expect much more than that. Half the time I wasn't even involved in their clubbing shenanigans. I would just get a call or text complaining that they were striking out and needed help. Come out to the club/bar, talk to the guys for a few minutes. Like, okay, what are you looking for? Blonde/brunette, sure thing, one-nighter, intelligent-ish, possible future dates, bring home to meet mom kind of girl. Then I'd scope the bar, finding girls that were what they were looking for and discreetly point them out to the guys for approval. They'd give me money for a few drinks and I would go up, order a drink next to the girl of choice and strike up conversation. Once I got the guys introduced and established, I Houdini'd the out of there. I got them the setup. If they couldn't follow through, it was all on them. Wing chicks that linger can become a block or third wheel, neither of which I wanted to be. Also, I wanted to go home. I was working 3 jobs at the time and my daughter was 8. I also had early stage cancer. I was tired as asterisk, and although I enjoyed the brief hour or so I got away from home and work and doctors to get my buddies laid, I kinda wanted to sleep. For me it was a night out without the commitment of being out all night. It was also free. Win-win. They are all in committed relationships now, engaged or married in the last year or so. Had a blast at the last 2 weddings, Looking forward to the 3 more in the next year and a half.